Hello, my name is Johar, and in this session I'm going to discuss about fatty acid synthesis. So, the location of the fatty acid synthesis is mainly cytosol. There are two major substrates that is needed for the synthesis of fatty acid, and that is acetyl coenzyme A and NADPH. Usually the initial outcome or the final product is palmitic acid. Later on it can be further elongated or desaturated. That means the addition of a double bond, because it is palmitic acid, that is the 16 carbon palmitic acid is completely saturated. So if our body needs an unsaturated fatty acids, it need to be desaturated. If it needs more length of fatty acid like 18 or 20, then elongation has to be done. Both will be done in the smooth endoplasmic reticulum by different enzymes. Now, what are the sources of acetyl coenzyme A and NADPH? Source of acetyl coenzyme A. Acetyl coenzyme A is mainly generated in mitochondria or present in the mitochondria, and it cannot pass the mitochondria, or you can say it cannot come out of the mitochondria. And we know that the fatty acid synthesis usually take place in the cytoplasm. So there is a mechanism by which acetyl coenzyme A can be met in the cytoplasm, so that the fatty acid synthesis can take place by making of citrate. We will learn it in the next slide. And the other is the carnitine acetyl transferase, may probably transfer acetyl group from mitochondria. The second is the requirement of NADPH, that is NADPH, and the most important supplier is the HMP pathway, hexose monophosphate shunt. We will discuss in this hexose monophosphate shunt in another lecture by Melic enzyme, and I think we had already discussed the synthesis of NADPH from isocitrate dehydrogenase. This enzyme is present in cytoplasm as well as in the mitochondria, isocitrate dehydrogenase. So just we should have a look of this enzyme, isocitrate dehydrogenase. This is a reaction of TCA cycle. This is the third step, and it is a rate limiting step. I think you all have gone through this. In this reaction, isocitrate is converted into alpha ketoglutarate, and then it is a decarboxylation reaction. So carbon dioxide will be out, and NADPH will be synthesized. This NADPH will be utilized to synthesize the fatty acids. Along with that, this isocitrate dehydrogenase is also present in the cytoplasm. So it also doing some conversion of isocitrate into alpha ketoglutarate in the cytoplasm as well. This enzyme has major significances nowadays in cancers. So we will go a little bit forward how the acetyl coenzyme A comes into the cytoplasm. First of all, acetyl coenzyme A binds with the oxaloacetate. Both will bind together by the enzyme citrate synthase, and citrate will be formed. This citrate can come out of the mitochondria. This citrate will come out of the mitochondria, and citrate will be broken down into oxaloacetate and acetyl coenzyme A in the cytosol. So acetyl coenzyme A will now available in the cytosol. The first step in the synthesis of fatty acids is the synthesis of malonyl coenzyme A, that is the carboxylation of acetyl coenzyme A. Acetyl coenzyme A is a 2-carbon molecule, 1 and 2. However, the malonyl coenzyme A is a 3-carbon molecule, so 1 carbon is added from the carbon dioxide. And in this reaction, the enzyme is the acetyl-CoA carboxylase enzyme, and biotin, manganese, both are utilized as a coenzyme. ATP is, since it is an energy dependent reaction, so ATP is being utilized. There are many components of this enzyme, like here it is written biotin. Biotin is a vitamin, biotin carboxylase, biotin carboxyl carrier protein, trans carboxylase, and a regulatory allosteric site. This enzyme is important because it is a rate limiting enzyme, as well as regulation of fatty acid synthesis take place at this step. Now, how the regulation will take place? Let us discuss first regulation, then we will discuss about the fatty acid synthesis per se. So, regulation of fatty acid synthesis takes place at acetyl-CoA carboxylase step. That is the step where the malonyl-CoA coenzyme A is synthesized from acetyl coenzyme A. It is a rate limiting step and regulated step of the. So here the citrate act as a activator, allosteric activator of acetyl-CoA carboxylase. Citrate act as a allosteric activator. However, it is inhibited by fatty acids of fatty acyl coenzyme A. So the other is the inactivated by phosphorylation. As we have discussed in the regulation of enzymes in second lecture of the enzyme, there is one thing we know, that covalent modification of the enzymes. So some enzymes are activated in phosphorylated form, however some are inactivated in phosphorylation form. So this acetyl-CoA carboxylase gets inactivated in the phosphorylated form. This phosphorylation is done by the AMP dependent kinases. Basically, when glucagon binds with the glucagon receptor, it activates the adenylate cyclase, and there is an increased concentration of cyclic AMP inside the cell. Now this cyclic AMP will activate AMP dependent protein kinases. This AMP dependent protein kinases phosphorylates many enzymes and proteins in the cell. Now this phosphorylation may activate or inactivate. In this case, in our case, it deactivates or inactivates the acetyl-CoA carboxylase after the phosphorylation by AMP dependent kinases. And this AMP dependent kinases is activated by cyclic AMP. Cyclic AMP is activated or increased by the glucagon. Glucagon is a hormone synthesized from the pancreas. However, on the contrary, the insulin dephosphorylate by protein phosphatase enzyme. So insulin activates this enzyme, protein phosphatase, and due to dephosphorylation, acetyl-CoA enzyme A carboxylase gets activated. So this is a short-term regulation, that is the allosteric as well as covalent modification. Allosteric we have learned like here, allosteric activated by citrate and deactivated by fatty acid coenzyme, fatty acyl coenzyme A. However, in the covalent modification, phosphorylation will lead to deactivation, and dephosphorylation will lead to activation of the enzyme. In the long term, insulin activates the synthesis of the acetyl-CoA carboxylase by activating sterol regulatory element binding protein 1. Sterol regulatory element binding protein 1. This is SREBP1. Excess calorie because this insulin activates this. So after activation of the SRBP1, it leads to synthesis of acetyl-CoA carboxylase also. Excess calorie intake induce ACC synthesis. More and more calorie will lead to increased synthesis of the fatty acid in the body. However, if we take more fatty acid in the diet, it will not lead to increased fatty acid synthesis in the body. So it is an interesting point here. Now, the synthesis of the fatty acids is being catalyzed by the fatty acid synthase enzyme. This is a single enzyme, fatty acid synthase. Actually, this is a single polypeptide, you can say. It is present in the dimeric form. However, this enzyme contains all 7 enzymatic activities that is needed for the synthesis of the fatty acid. One is the 3-ketoacyl synthase, the other one is the trans-acylase, third one is the enoyl reductase, fourth one is the hydroxyacyl dehydratase, fifth one is the ketoacyl reductase, and the sixth one is the ACP. Basically, it is a binding protein, and the seventh is the thioesterase. So this is the presentation how they are being arranged on a single polypeptide. This is one polypeptide, this is another polypeptide. So there are 2 polypeptides. It means the enzyme is mainly present in a dimeric form, and each polypeptide carry all 7 enzymatic activities that is needed for the synthesis of a fatty acid. Now, as we have learned, there are 2 things that is needed, or you can say 2 substrate, NADPH and acetyl coenzyme. So acetyl coenzyme in the first reaction bounded with the carbon dioxide make a malonyl coenzyme. We had discussed the acetyl coenzyme is a 2-carbon and malonyl coenzyme is a 3-carbon molecule, and the reaction is catalyzed with a rate limiting or key regulatory enzyme, that is the acetyl-CoA carboxylase. ATP is required in this step, and then this malonyl coenzyme will be converted into malonyl ACP by the enzyme malonyl CoA ACP trans-acylase, and in this condition CoASH, that is coenzyme, will be released and ACP will be bounded to the malonyl coenzyme. Now here in the another reaction, acetyl coenzyme directly binds with the ACP protein and converted into acetyl ACP by the enzyme acetyl-CoA ACP acetyl transferase. These 2, malonyl ACP and acetyl ACP, will condense together or will bound together to make a single product, that is the acetyl ACP, and carbon dioxide is released. It is the same carbon dioxide that gets released here at this step. So ultimately here, if you see 2 carbon here and 2 carbon here, this will make a 4-carbon acetyl ACP, and the enzyme is the ketoacyl synthase that catalyzes this reaction. Now we have got 4-carbon molecule, that is acetyl ACP. There are 4 repetitive equations, repetitive steps that will take place now, and these are, first of all, is the condensation reaction, in which we have already learned the condensation. Actually, this is the condensation reaction, acetyl ACP. By condensing 2 things, acetyl ACP and malonyl ACP, there will be release of carbon dioxide and formation of acetyl ACP. So here is the first reaction, that is the condensation reaction, in which acetyl ACP is formed and ketoacyl synthase in the enzyme that is catalyzing the reaction. In the next step, there will be reduction. In the reduction, there will be use of NADPH. We know that acetyl coenzyme and NADPH, these are the 2 major substrate in the fatty acid synthesis pathway. So NADPH is being utilized, and this acetyl ACP will be reduced to beta hydroxybutyryl ACP, and the reaction is catalyzed by beta ketoacyl reductase. In the third reaction, that is the dehydration reaction, the beta hydroxybutyryl ACP will be dehydrated to form alpha beta unsaturated butyryl ACP or crotonyl ACP. The enzyme catalyzing the reaction is beta hydroxybutyryl dehydratase, and in the last reaction, that is the reduction reaction, again one NADPH is being utilized here. So one NADPH is utilized here, 2 NADPH is utilized here. So ultimately it will become butyryl ACP, and the reaction is catalyzed by enoyl reductase. If you can see here, so far 2 acetyl coenzyme is being used and 2 NADPH is being used, and they are bonded together to form this butyl ACP. Butyl ACP, basically butyl ACP is a 4 carbon fully saturated molecule or compound. It is important because now the next steps are exactly the repetitions of these steps. We know that as we had discussed in the initial slide, that the initial outcome is a 16 carbon fatty acid, that is the palmitic acid. Palmitic acid is a 16 carbon molecule, but here this butyl ACP is a 4 carbon molecule. So what will happen now, this 4 carbon butyl ACP again combines with a 3 carbon manonyl ACP, and the synthesis of the manonyl ACP we had already discussed from the acetyl coenzyme, how it is being synthesized by the 2 steps. First the acetyl coenzyme will make manonyl coenzyme, then manonyl ACP. So this 4 carbon, that is the butyl ACP, will combine with 3 carbon manonyl ACP. Again in this reaction, this is the condensation, this is the same reaction, condensation reaction, first reaction. The carbon dioxide will be released and it will become 6 carbon. Now the second reaction, this reaction, now this 6 carbon, this third reaction, this reaction, and now like this there will be fourth reaction, and completely saturated 6 carbon molecule will be synthesized. Completely saturated 6 carbon molecule. So in the first condensation, reduction, dehydration, and then reduction. Condensation, reduction, dehydration, reduction. 4 continuous repetitive steps will be done or will be taking place to join every 2 carbon in the this butyl ACP, then 6 carbon, then 6 to become 8. Now we will just give an example how it will become 8. Now this 6 carbon will join with another manonyl ACP, that is 3 carbon, to make, it will again make 8 carbon, because 1 carbon dioxide will be released here. So 6 plus 3 is 9, 1 carbon dioxide is released, so 8 plus 1 is 9. Now this 8 carbon will again go through these 4 steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, that is condensation, reduction, dehydration, reduction. This again combines with another manonyl coenzyme, manonyl ACP. This is a 3 carbon. It will become, after release of carbon dioxide, 10 carbon. This 10 carbon will again go through the 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically one is the same step. This one is the same step. Go through the 2, 3, 4 steps and become completely saturated. After that there will be addition of manonyl coenzyme, manonyl ACP, and there will be release of carbon dioxide here. The first reaction, this will generate 12 carbon molecule, and 2, 3, 4 will be repeated. One is here. Now 2 carbon will again combine with 3 carbon. 3 carbon is the same manonyl ACP. It will become, after the release of carbon dioxide, it will become 14 carbon. Again 2, 3, 4 step will be repeated, and again 3 carbon will be added. After the release of carbon dioxide, it will become 16 carbon. This 16 carbon is the initial outcome, that is the palmitic acid of the fatty acid synthesis pathway. So if we keenly observe How many cycles of these four repetitive steps has taken place? In the first step, it needs to be synthesis of butyl ACP. There will be one step to get the 4 carbon, 2 step to get the 6 carbon, 3 repetitive cycles to get the 8 carbon, 4 to get 10 carbon, 5 to get 12 carbon, and 6 to get 14 carbon, and 7 to get 16 carbon. Now we know that for the first there are two acetyl CoA. 2 acetyl CoA is utilized. One in the form of acetyl coenzyme A, and other at acetyl ACP, and the other in the form of manonyl ACP after conversion by the acetyl CoA carboxylase, manonyl ACP. So it will form 4. So ultimately there will be 2 acetyl coenzyme, and we know in the initially we discussed 1,4 carbon is synthesized, or steps, these 1, 2, 3, 4 repetitive steps need 2 acetyl coenzyme A plus 2 NADPH. So if we can see here how many acetyl coenzyme A or how many NADPH is basically needed for the synthesis of 16 carbon. So 2 here, 2 ATP plus 2 NADH, here 2 ATP plus 2 NADH, 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 2 ATP plus 2 NADH. So just calculate here: 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So there will be 14 NADPH, and there will be 14 acetyl CoA is only one here. So there will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 acetyl coenzyme A is utilized for the 16 carbon molecule. 8 acetyl coenzyme A and 14 NADPH is being utilized. Now in the next slide we will discuss after 6 cycles that we have discussed here, that is the synthesis of the butyl ACP. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cycles. There will be complete 16 molecule palmitoyl ACP will be synthesized, and this palmitoyl ACP will be released in the form of palmitic acid by the enzyme thioesterase or deacylase. Elongation and desaturation in smooth endoplasmic reticulum. As we had discussed earlier also, that elongation, that is the addition of the further carbon, like here we have discussed till 16, there may be 18, 20, 22, 24, like this. If our body needs to add more carbon, then exactly in the same manner manonyl ACP will be utilized. But this, since all till 16 carbon, it is happening in the cytoplasm or cytosol. After 16 carbon, this happens in the smooth endoplasmic reticulum by the same things like NADPH and manonyl coenzyme. Both is still required by the same mechanism. The only difference is the location. Till 16 carbon, location is cytosol, cytoplasm. After 16 carbon, location is smooth endoplasmic reticulum, SER. Another modification, that is the introduction of double bonds, that is the desaturation. Usually in humans it is at the location of 9, 6, 5 and 4 desaturation. Double bonds is present in this location, and the first double bond is usually present at the 9th position. and on double bonds are always in the cis orientation. Cis orientation is nothing but, if we have, suppose let's have a structure, this is known as trans, and let's have a structure, this is known as cis on the same side actually, and trans on the opposite side, if you can see. So there will be kinking in the structure if there will be a cis kind of bond, but in the nature usually it is the double bond present in the cis orientation, not in the trans one. Only rarely it can present in the trans one, but usually it is a man-made when it is present in the trans one. And the desaturation is done by many enzymes and other components like NADH, cytochrome B5, and FAD-linked reductases. Therefore, since our body can make only these kind of only can make double bonds only at these locations, there are certain fatty acids that become essential. These are linoleic acid and linolenic acid. There are two essential fatty acids, and one is semi-essential. Some people say that is the arachidonic acid. However, it is mainly linolenic and linoleic acid that are the essential. So that is, I think, all about the fatty acid synthesis. Thank you very much.